Hello, beautiful people. It is Tamatha Lene, and I just want to come and share something very, very important that people aren't really necessarily talking about. Specifically, your doctor may not be talking about it. Some doctors are, and that's actually how I found out. I had to go to a second doctor to find this out. But if you're experiencing anxiety, it could possibly be from a deficiency. And I'm going to share what that deficiency is. So make sure to stick around so that you get all this information, because this is something that recently I started to deal with within the past like 3 to 4 months. I started to have unexplained like anxiety and a little depression that just didn't really make sense. And I've never dealt with that before, and I just felt out of balance and really out of whack. I'll share more about all of that and how that all came to be. I'll be sharing that, Lord willing, in the future. I'll do a video specifically on how all that came about. But I just felt out of balance and things just weren't adding up. I went to the doctor, got tests, and they said, oh, you're fine, everything's perfect, all your levels are normal, you're great. And I was like, then why do I feel like this, So they didn't have any answers. So basically by God's grace, I was talking to a friend and close mentor of mine, and she has a doctor that's also like, it's an acquaintance that I know, but a really close friend that she has that's a doctor. And she's like, you need to talk with her because she really shares more information. She understands that sometimes numbers that are in the normal range aren't necessarily normal. She looks at the case a little deeper than just, oh, you fall within normal range. So long story short, what is the deficiency that I discovered? Well, there's a few, but the main one, when I went to this doctor and she looked at the same test that the other doctor looked at, they discovered that my iron, and more specifically my ferritin level, which is like your iron stores and your iron reserves, that was too low. And so let me show you so that you can understand. I'm going to show you my results. So here they are right here. So you see it says ferritin level, and that's like I said, your iron reserves. So it said my ferritin level was 20.3, and the standard range is between 15 and 205 NGs, right, per milliliter. So it's like, that's a huge, huge range. So my doctor, just because I was at that, 5 points above the lowest, oh, you're fine. Take an iron supplement if you want, but no big deal, you're fine. And I had to call back and ask, and because they didn't even tell me to take an iron supplement when I first talked to them. I just had to keep calling and asking. I still feel off. And they were just like, oh, well, if you want to supplement with some iron, you can, or, But this doctor, once I went to this doctor, she said that is way too low and you need to get your ferritin level up. And with the ferritin, so she said basically having a level of 20.3 is basically like, if iron was food, it's like having food in the kitchen on the counter, but no food in the pantry, no food in the refrigerator. So it's basically your iron stores. You have nothing stored, no major reserve. And iron deficiencies, if you look it up, if you're deficient with iron, it can cause anxiety, depression, and lots of other things. Heart palpitations, I was experiencing that. Trouble sleeping, all kinds of things. So I started to supplement with iron. And when you take iron, you want to make sure that you're not taking it like with calcium, because calcium will actually chelate the iron and make the iron so it's not absorbed. That's what the doctor said. And once again, let me just do a disclaimer. I am not a medical doctor. This is just my experience. I'm sharing my experience with this. So I have been taking iron supplement, and I take it with vitamin C. So you could have it with vitamin C rich foods, or like good fresh squeezed orange juice, or you could even take a vitamin C supplement like the powdered. I do the crystal form of ascorbic acid vitamin C, just a few, like 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of that. I believe that's how much I do. But you want to do it with vitamin C because it helps it absorb. But so I do iron, and there's the Mega Food Blood Builder. This is actually my zinc. That's another important one. So I have to, but Mega Food is the brand of iron that I take. It's called Mega Food Blood Builder, or the original thing that the doctor subscribed to me was actually Vitrin C, which is vitamin C with iron together. And this is like 65, I believe, believe it's 65 milligrams of elemental iron. I just have to, let me see, where does it say? I'm trying to see where it says, but I was taking this, yeah, 65 milligrams elemental iron. And so sometimes when you supplement with iron, if it doesn't have the vitamin C, you'll have constipation. I didn't have any of that. But what I noticed is when I did start to take that, anxiety levels really did go down. I was able to sleep better. And another thing, there's another whole nother video I have to do. Like I said, zinc deficiency, found that out. So I was a little deficient, well, actually a lot deficient in zinc. So that's another thing. And also, in vitamin D. So even though I was taking a supplement, I wasn't taking enough vitamin D. And so all of those things can add to vitamin D3, can add to having a lack of that can add to anxiety and depression. But the main thing when I really started to feel a little more even was when I started to supplement with a proper level of iron and was able to find out that this ferritin level that shows up as normal really was not normal. That's not normal. That's too low. So if you go to the doctor and something feels off, you're suffering from anxiety or depression and all your numbers come back great, maybe get a second opinion from someone who's a little more holistic and looking at you, the patient, who's saying, I don't feel normal, as opposed to looking at a number on a piece of paper. Because like we see with this 15 to 205 is such a huge range. Optimal is not to be at 20.3. You know, you want to be much, much higher. So I'm going to go and I'll keep you all posted. But Lord willing, in about 2 months, I'll go and get my iron levels checked and see if it's increased. But things are definitely getting better. It's a slow process, and it's really been a rough few months. But I'm just so thankful to start getting answers, because when I first went to the doctor and was getting you know, everything's so normal. Oh, you're great. All these levels are great. It's like, no, that's not great. So same thing with vitamin D. This doctor said my vitamin D was fine because I was on the lower end of normal. And the other doctor that I went to for a second opinion was like, no, your vitamin D needs to be much, much higher. So I think I was at like maybe 30. And they want your vitamin D to be, she was saying optimal is to have your vitamin D much higher, closer to, you know, the 65 to 80 range or so. So I'm very far away from that, you know. So I just wanted to just bring awareness to this side of anxiety and depression, that it could be that you have a deficiency in ferritin or iron, or also vitamin D. It could be zinc. Magnesium is another one to look into. So just go to your doctor, and if your doctor is only looking at numbers and not listening to your symptoms, and if your numbers are low, really look at your numbers and know what they are. If they're very kind of close to the low normal range, then maybe you want to get a second opinion. So just wanted to share that with all y'all, because I love you, and I don't want anyone to have to suffer with these things, because it's very debilitating, and we're trying to live our best life out here. You feel me? All right. Anyways, please like, share, subscribe. If this video was helpful for you, I'll be sharing more on my journey with getting my iron and ferritin level up, and I'll just keep you all posted. But as on this channel, I share about eating alkaline foods and detoxing and all of that. And that's all great. And we want to do that. But sometimes there might be other things that are out of balance causing your issues. And it might not be that it's just detox alone that needs to happen. It may be that you need to get your body in balance and in homeostasis, and you might be lacking in some very, very important minerals and vitamins. So just go to your doctor, get your levels checked. Don't just take what they say. Look at the numbers for yourself. And if you still just don't feel right, or if things are low, go get a second opinion. All right. Love you all. Take care. God bless. Again, like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.